Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another fashion edition. Today I wanted to take a look at the Governor's Awards. They happened a little while back, but I absolutely loved some of the looks from this. Let's begin with Dakota Johnson in Valentino. This is beautiful. I absolutely love all of the draping, and the diagonal lines across this skirt are so flattering and enhance her feminine figure. The only thing I hate about it is just how low the cups of the bodice are sitting. This is really trendy lately, and I feel like it just makes the bust look saggy. It makes the chest, the décolleté, look so much longer than it really is. At least she has a necklace to break things up. But the way it's placed so low on the boob, it's just not flattering. Just make the cups a tiny bit taller and it looks so much better for the bust, and it creates more definition for the waist because there's a little bit more fabric up here. Then in comparison, it makes the waistline look even more well defined. So it's smart. Now this texture of fabric is a little bit like wrinkly and crinkly, but it's still just so beautiful. It's meant to be that way. So I feel like it doesn't read as messy, but I love this. I love the draping of this, and it's nice and simple so it doesn't overwhelm her frame either, and her styling looks really nice for it. Jennifer Lawrence in Dior, of course. She is a Dior girly, and she looks beautiful. This is gorgeous. I love her warm, smoky eye makeup here. It's beautiful. It looks gorgeous. I really like this. I actually like this twist detail here at the hip for the slit. It's a little bit bulky, but I feel like she's able to pull it off because she does have a pretty long torso and she's got a well-defined waist. So I feel like she's pulling it off just fine. I think this is really pretty and interesting. It's got that good line of interest and still being flattering without it overwhelming a figure or becoming less flattering, because sometimes the more interest you try to add, the less flattering it becomes. Emma Stone in Louis Vuitton. I like this, but I don't love the hovering strap situation. A lot of designers have been experimenting this for the last couple of years, and I don't like the floating straps. I feel like they look kind of silly and strange, especially this one with how stiff it is. The rest of the look is fine and simple, but I can't abide the floating stiff straps. Ariana Grande's vintage Dior with Swarovski jewelry is one of the best looks of the night. This is so beautiful, so intricate. The jewels are seamlessly incorporated. The asymmetrical draping of this skirt with the pleating here is so sculptural, but still perfectly beautiful. A lot of times sculptural elements can get really bulky, really overwhelming, especially Ariana Grande. She's only like 5'2" with heels, maybe like 5'5" at most. So these things can get really overwhelming really fast, and this is just expertly done. I mean, of course it would be. It's Dior. They're so skillful. But this is just beautiful. I love everything about this. I think it's very interesting and gorgeous. Cynthia Erivo's wearing Givenchy by Sarah Burton. I don't like this one as much because it's so overwhelming. It's too voluminous in my opinion. It looks bulky, especially like around the hip. I feel like this would be more interesting and well suited to like a photo shoot, like something you would see in a magazine spread rather than on this black carpet, this Oscars carpet. It just looks too heavy, too overwhelming. There's not enough definition. There's not enough break to the volume or pattern, and the pattern is looking a little messy to me on top of it. Kristen Stewart is wearing Rodarte, and I quite like this, but I'm not 100% behind these lace appliques just stuck on. They remind me of iron-ons. I wish they were maybe a little bit more integrated, like maybe if they actually just came up or connected with a border along that ruffling along the edge, because that part's that little peekaboo of lace is cute along the bust line, the neckline, but then just having two stuck on here that aren't connected to anything else, I feel like isn't working. It doesn't feel like it was meant to be there. It feels like it was an afterthought just slapped on the front. Not a fan of that, but the rest looks nice and well fitted. Anya Taylor-Joy looks beautiful. She really does. She looks amazing, but I'm not a huge fan of this style of bodice because it does add volume to the ribcage area, and even though in contrast it creates you know, an illusion of even more waist definition. She doesn't need that. And so this just catches the eye and looks lumpy and bumpy right here to me. I know Kim Kardashian wore another version of this. I didn't like it on her either. This just catches the eye and looks a bit awkward, in my opinion. But she herself looks beautiful, as always. And I like the skirt and the flowiness of the rest of the look, just not that element to it. Gwyneth Paltrow's dress looks a little frumpy. There's just not enough definition around her waist. It looks like it's hanging off of her frame from the bust line area, just hanging loose. There's a little too much volume throughout the skirt, in my opinion here. It just looks a little bit less elevated as well. Elle Fanning channeling Barbie pink here in this Gucci dress. I love this. This clean and simple silhouette, a bit of a drop waist here. This is gorgeous. It fits her perfectly. It's a pretty color. I like the simple styling. I think it's beautiful. It would have worked great with some opera gloves or some lace gloves as well. Would have been fun with this. I love this. It's perfect. And it's up high enough. You see, it's not like this half boob. It's full boob. It's perfect. Jessie Buckley in a rather plain dress from The Row. That's the Olsen Twins brand. I don't know. There's a lot of volume out front on this one. I'm not a fan of very sculptural, super voluminous pieces for occasions like this. I have always said, you're probably tired of hearing it now, I feel like these dresses should make the actress or the wearer, whomever they are, look more beautiful and flatter them and flatter their figure. And so things that are like kind of funky or have a lot of extra volume, I don't feel like they vibe for this. I feel like they just end up looking less flattering and should be in a magazine. They should be editorial, not worn for this. Because this is just, what is this? What is this? Frump attack. No. Jacob Elordi, I think it looks nice. Yeah, classic. Nice. The proportions, I feel like the jacket looks a little long on him, but he's very, very tall, so it could just be the angle. He should be tall enough to be able to pull off that extra long jacket. Tiana Taylor looks very nice in her sort of snakeskin inspired column dress here. It looks like it doesn't exactly fit the bust line perfectly, but the rest looks really nice. And she has got a very hourglass figure, so the more simple and fitted dress, the better. The streamlined of it helps to balance the voluptuous curves. So it's the right approach, that's for sure. Natalie Portman's Dior dress, it's so cute, it's so pretty. I really, really, really want to love it, but it feels almost a little too short paired up with the volume. Like if it had maybe 1 extra inch and the volume was just a little, the angle of the volume was a little bit more this instead of this, I feel like it would look even better. Because this, it almost makes it look like it's too small for her. Because it is supposed to be girly and playful, and it is supposed to be that short, voluminous circle skirt type situation. But I feel like the proportions needed a slight adjustment to really be perfect for Natalie. But, I mean, she looks beautiful, and it's a beautiful piece. I'm not a huge fan of the Tamara Ralph dress that Jennifer Lopez wore. I like the gloves. I like the placement of the black velvet as it is figure enhancing. However, I feel like the volume is just a little bit much and things have just been looking a little bit messy on JLo recently. I think a more simple design would have been better for her. It just feels like a lot of volume, a little bit messy, this particular angle as well. Chase Infinity is wearing a very dramatic Louis Vuitton piece. I don't love this. This is another one of those. It reminds me of like clown pants or something. The silhouette, it just feels silly to me. Like a crazy petticoat. It's fashion art that belongs in a magazine or something, not in this occasion. This looks silly in this context. Austin Butler in a very classic Saint Laurent suit. No complaints there. Oh, Tessa Thompson looks lovely in this Valentino dress. So pretty. The boobs aren't doing weird stuff. These sorts of tags hanging off around the sleeve are not my favorite, but I still think it looks really pretty. I think she can get away with it. The styling is perfect. The volume is perfect. This whole thing looks really, really beautiful on her. I love the soft fabrics. I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy Allen White's Louis Vuitton outfit here. I feel like it looks a little bit unfinished. The cummerbund is too intense, too thick and heavy. It's not my favorite. I feel like, again, this is something that was more editorial that belonged somewhere else. Haley Steinfeld, I feel like this is okay. It's not my personal favorite, but it's very sculptural. She looks beautiful, and it's definitely interesting. It's not as bad as some of the others that are a little too editorial or sculptural. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it looks a tiny bit messy, but I feel like she's getting away with it at the same time because it's got these very interesting curved, almost like cascading waterfall-y effect that is very interesting and pretty. Mia Goth in this icy blue Dior piece, I think this is pretty. It definitely has a level of sculptural interest that Mia Goth likes to do things that are a little bit different, but it still has such beautiful fabric and such a seamless design. These draped sort of bow details off to the side, although they're not the most like flattering thing for a dress, still look soft and pillowy and beautifully done, and like it's as if there's not a seam in sight. So the expert craftsmanship to this and control of the volume, I feel like, is giving it more of an edge than it otherwise would have. Because this silhouette in general is not the most flattering because it's creating so much volume so high up on her waist. It's kind of eating up the waistline and adding bulk right here with the crisscross of the fabric. But at the same time, there's so much movement and interest, and it's such perfectly done buttery satin that it still looks really beautiful and light somehow. That's probably the most interesting one that I still liked, but my absolute favorites are Jennifer Lawrence, Elle Fanning in the beautiful pink one, and Ariana Grande. Absolute best. Dakota Johnson comes in a close like fourth for me. But leave your favorites in the comments and your least favorite. Who do you think was worst dressed? I would have to say maybe Cynthia Erivo, Gwyneth Paltrow, or Jessie Buckley are probably the absolute worst. But what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this fashion edition, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye!